What's up? Friday, TGIF, Friday. But it's not nice here. I got a dinner date with the wife tonight, but I'm looking out the window here and it's getting kind of gnarly. I mean, we've got thunderstorms out there. The wind is blowing. It's raining. Gonna be a crazy night, but it follows a crazy week. Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Barry Cunningham. I am a real estate investor, formerly a radio show talk show host, now a burgeoning real estate developer as well, and it's a great time to be involved in real estate. In fact, I had taken a sabbatical per se. Had been out of the real estate game for a couple years. Things just weren't where they needed to be. I'm a distressed real estate investor. I buy and sell distressed properties mainly. And now I'm starting to do a little bit of development as well. But certain market conditions have been popping up on my crystal ball. I keep talking about the old crystal ball that nobody else seems to have. And when I first started doing this show, we didn't know where things were headed. Things were going in a really weird direction. There was so much uncertainty. There still is a ton of uncertainty. We don't really know what the heck's going on. And besides all the corona stuff, we're in an election year. I mean, we're just in the perfect turmoil, perfect storm. And that usually spells instability for business, which is great for distressed real estate. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry all this stuff is happening, but at the same time, it's an amazing opportunity for those of us who endeavor in distressed-based real estate, distress-based loans, distress-based properties, and being able to work things out with the banks and help out homeowners and people who need places to live. It's a great time right now. And so I just started getting the band back together. Spoke to one of our attorneys who we worked with about 10 years ago. He's ready. He's putting together he's got a great niche. We're going to have him on the show in about 2 weeks. He's putting together where he's going to be. Back in the 2006, 2007 era when we really were killing it, we traveled the country and we did short sale seminars. We actually taught realtors how to do short sales, and then everybody became a short sale expert, but we did it before anybody else. We were there first. And now he's got another niche he's going into. He's going to be doing lease workouts with commercial businesses and people who are in a problem, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, businesses who need to do lease workouts with their landlord. That's going to be huge for him. When I talked to him today and he mentioned what he was doing, I'm like, yep, it's time to start up again. So, crank everything up. So it's great that he's going to be on board again. So I've got 2 or 3 attorneys that we're working with. We're getting our funders in place, and we're always going to be looking for funders as well. If you are someone who's interested in investing in distressed real estate and getting an 8 to 11% return, please feel free to get a hold of me. The ride's going to be great, and you have to have a stomach for it. There are going to be a lot of people out there who complain and say that we're bottom feeding and we're taking advantage of a really bad situation. No, actually we're not. We're the cleanup crew. We're the ones that you call when things are bad and you need to get it fixed. We're the ones as a last resort that you call in and say, I can't pay my mortgage. And the bank calls and says, this guy's not paying his mortgage. We can't do this non-performing debt. We need to move it. Barry, can you do something about this? Is there any way you can step in and make things work? Realtors who are stuck with listings that just won't sell, and they need to call us and say, can you do something about this? Sort of like being Ghostbusters. We're the ones you call when things go bad. We're the ones who come in, checks blazing, wire transfers ready to take the pain away. That's what we do. And oh my God, is it profitable. So, if you watch this show or go back into some of the episodes, you'll know that I've talked about the Corona chart and how people are going crazy about the Rona. I no longer do that because I think we're finally going to see some data from the CDC and elsewhere that we're going to find out for sure that the books were cooked. We're going to find out that all this craziness of about 10,000 cases a day and blah, 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 we're going to find out it was BS. Mark my words. Mark my words today on July 17th. Actually, I've been saying it for a while, that it's all BS. It's election related. It's designed to keep people in a position of fear, under perspective of hysteria, and to keep that going as long as they possibly can, which is fine. I don't care. I mean, with me, the way I look at it is how Warren looks at it. Be fearful when others are greedy, but now be greedy when others are fearful. Read that. Understand it. Embrace it. We didn't create the situation. I didn't put anybody into the hospital. I didn't drive them crazy with story after story after story that we're all going to die. I'm not telling you to wear a mask. Oh, yeah, by the way, Winn-Dixie, props. Winn-Dixie just announced today that they're not enforcing the mask. They're not making you wear a mask when you walk in. So, sorry, Publix. For the time being, I'm heading over to Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie's getting this household's money. In fact, the wife went to Winn-Dixie today to make sure that would happen. But by Publix, I know, my piddly amount that we spend isn't going to hurt you. But if anything I can do to help Winn-Dixie, to promote Winn-Dixie, yeah, head over to Winn-Dixie, spend your money there. No, they're not a sponsor. They're not paying me to say this, but I am over this mask hysteria. So let me go to my one coronavirus headline of the day. And it's quite the headline. And it's the kind of thing that just makes you do the face palm and go, this is insane. So, today I saw this tweet, and it's by Alex Berenson, who you've been seeing on basically every news channel right now. And Alex has been talking about how crazy this data is, and he's been telling people, when people start digging in here, we're going to find out that these books were cooked. All you have to do is begin peeling back the onion layers, and you're going to see that these books have been cooked badly. So Phil Kerpen made a post today, and he's talking about Channel 35 up in Orlando. And the guy asked a physician who was attending to somebody who just died. The guy died in a motorcycle accident. And so he says, hey, this guy was in his 20s, and did he have any, and you listed him as a COVID as his death. Were there any underlying conditions? And other than the motorcycle accident that he was in, no. Just read that. Just read what they're doing. They are purposely, right now, taking anybody. I mean, what are you doing? Testing a corpse? Hey, let me check this guy's temperature. Oh, here, tongue depressor. He's got the COVID. He died of COVID. No, he got impaled on a tree. He was going like 90 miles an hour on a rice burner. Thing went airborne. Boom. He hit the tree. Tree impaled him. Nope. It's a corona. It's a Rona that did it. That's what we're going to see. We're also seeing things where people signed up for a test, stood in one of these 2 or 3 hour long lines in a car, got a phone call, whatever, and said, you know what? I'm not sticking around. I'm out of here. I'm going to go home. Now, they did this after they registered to get tested. And that noise you hear now is rain coming through. So if we get blinked out, then I have to apologize and actually cut this thing short, or it may get cut short for me. But in any event, people have been leaving the testing facilities. And as they've left the testing facilities, a week or two later, they are getting an email that says, hey, Mr. Smith, you took your test on July 1st. And we're just informing you that your test came back positive. You do have the Rona. Except Mr. Smith never took the test. Mr. Smith didn't feel like waiting 2 hours in line, so Mr. Smith bounced. And lo and behold, luckily he wasn't impaled on a motorcycle, but he just didn't take a test. but he gets a notification somehow that he's tested positive. You're going to see this data come out, and when it does, a lot of people aren't going to believe it because they don't want to believe it. The pendulum swing has happened so strongly that people have been indoctrinated, and they are hysterical, and they are partisan motivated. They need to have a reason for the COVID numbers to be high. God, every pediatrician you know has said it's fine for kids to go back to school. They don't care. Doesn't matter. We're not going to go to school. De Blasio in New York, now here's a quick anecdote. You're going to love this one. De Blasio in New York said, and I quote, I wish I could find it. I think I did tweet it myself. De Blasio said he's only going to see kids in school 2 or 3 days a week because of the Rona. The other days of the week, they're going to be in daycare. Yeah, he said that. Think about that for a second. We can't have the kids go to school because they're going to be around other people, other kids, and they may get sick. So we can't have them go to school. So instead of having them go to school and be around other kids, we're going to have them go to daycare on the other days to make sure they're not in school around other kids. If you have a reasonably thinking mind, you would detach from this stuff and realize you're being lied to. You're absolutely being lied to. You're being bamboozled. You're being hoodwinked, but you want it to be true. And because you want it to be true, it is true for you, which is fine. I don't care if it's true for you. But now what's going to happen is, if you really are fearful, if you haven't been able to pay your rent or your mortgage for an extended period of time, now it's time for guys like me to swoop in and fix up the carnage. It's up for us to go ahead and clean things up. It's a great time to be investing in real estate, an absolute great time to be investing, because you're going to play upon some emotions here that are going to break. If you truly believe that we are under an emergency and we're all going to die and we need to stay home and we can't do this and we can't do that, if you are that fearful, then you're going to have no options. You're going to have to move, and you're going to have to sell your house. And it's coming. I've been telling people for weeks now it's coming. I don't mean to sound like a soothsayer or a know-it-all, but I read the charts. I've lived through this. I know what's going to happen. I do have a crystal ball at this point. And other people are beginning to underscore what I've been saying. So let's look at the renters first. Let's look and see what's going on with the renters. So, as you can tell, Evictions was the title of this video, and I've been talking about Florida evictions for quite some time now, and what we're seeing is this. It says evictions loom for millions of Americans unable to pay rent. In addition to unable, let's also say it for what it is. Let's say that it's for people who simply don't want to. So it's both sides of the coin there. But evictions loom for millions of Americans unable to pay rent. The COVID-19 pandemic as eviction moratoriums expire. There was a national one that expires in a couple weeks, maybe this week. And then there's local ones like we have here in Florida. But this is what I wanted to highlight. In addition to everything that's happened, as I've highlighted, for April, May, June, and July, 22 million people are like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it next month either. Sorry. I already know I've got my crystal ball. I'm not paying you in August either. What are you going to do? They're already making plans not to be paying their rent for August. Another dateline. This came from the Wall Street Journal. Eviction looms for millions of America who can't or won't afford rent. And it says federal eviction moratorium expires in July with enhanced job. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. With enhanced jobless benefits, Congress debates extensions. Congress is always debating something. But I love what it says down here. Nearly 12 million adults live in households that missed their last rent payment. Actually, it's a little bit higher than that. And 23 million have little or no confidence in their ability to make the next one. So the groundwork is being laid. What we're seeing right now is people are saying, hey, listen, I don't know what's going to be happening. It's crazy, but I'm not going to be able to pay you next month. I know it's been March, April, May, June, July, but let's figure out something for next month, because this month isn't going to happen, and next month's not going to happen. So maybe we can talk about September. Whew. And you know what's going to happen then. So what ends up happening? So our governor, and I know people are going to be freaking out about this, our governor decides today he's going to announce he's going to get $250 million of funds out there for people who need help with their rent. Except for one caveat. Hope you can see it here. People with low income housing. That means it's probably not you watching this video. We're going to spend $250 million of federal funds on low income housing. How do you feel about that? Well, I'm telling you, as an investor, that's where the puck is going to. That's where you need to be skating to, where the puck needs to be. It's not to where, hey, listen, let's buy some properties and rent them out. Hell no. I'm not going to rent a property out to anybody right now, except those who are under government subsidies. At this point, Ben Carson is my funder. Ben, hey Ben, let's get together. You're doling out all this Section 8 money and these CARES Act funds. I've got 20 units, and we need to put some of those people and get the government money, get the government cheese, so that I know every 15th of the month I look into the bank account and the wire transfer has been made. That's what I'm telling my investors. That's what we're doing. Buy every duplex, triplex, and quad that we can find. Go ahead and make sure we're at our 8 to 10, 8 and 11% cap rate. So you guys are making your money for being involved in this. I make my money for managing the properties. Government pays us. It's a wonderful thing. It's an amazing thing. If you'd like to get in on this, go ahead and give me a call. You see where I'm going? You see how this is working at this point? You buy a duplex. You put two people into, or two families into this duplex. One on one side, charge them $1,300 a month. One on the other side, you charge them $1,300 a month. Neither one of them have to pay. You're going to get your checks directly from the government. No middleman. Every 15th of the month, $2,600 drops into the account. The only key to this is I have to make sure that I'm finding properties that are strong enough that gives you a return that you are satisfied with. Other than that, that's it. We make sure we have a reserve for repairs. We make sure we have a reserve in case there's any vacancies, but we know there won't be, because everybody and their mom who's in an eviction process is going to be looking for some affordable housing, and the government, regardless of who wins the election, is going to pay for it. America. What a country. What a country. I'm going to buy a $250,000 duplex, $300,000 triplex. I'm going to rent each one out for $1,200 or $1,300 a month. I'm going to get $4,200 in rent, guaranteed, not just guaranteed, paid by the government. Just let me change that. We're not getting it guaranteed by the government, meaning we have to ask Mr. Johnson if he's going to make the payment. Then if he doesn't pay, you have to go chase to the government. No. Paid by the government. Let Mr. Johnson live here. Sign up his paperwork. Let us know. We'll send you the check. That's what Ben Carson is saying right now. That's the deal. Now multiply that times 10, 20, 30, 40 properties. Now we're talking some serious cash flow and some serious return on investment, all paid for by the federal government. And that pie is not going to get smaller. As you notice in this article, somehow they find the money to pay for the low-income housing. Here's $250 million being sent to the state of Florida to pay the affordable housing. I don't need $250 million to pay mine, but if we can grab $4,000 or $5,000 a month per unit, per property, hey, we're doing fine. Have you ever been involved in a situation with any investment where somebody else, not somebody else, Uncle Sam is writing you a check, putting a direct deposit into your account every single month like clockwork? You don't have to worry. The only worry you have is that we don't get invaded by some crazy Russia or China or somebody. But even then, I think they would keep paying the affordable housing. You know why? Because that kind of socialistic stuff makes sense to them. You see where this is going? Do you understand why I'm talking about all of this? Can you see clearly what's going on and why it's such a good investment to be involved in these multifamily homes? And I'm sorry, I loves me some Grant Cardone. I love Grant Cardone, but forget 300, 400 unit complexes. I don't want to be anywhere near that. I don't want to be anywhere near that when 30% of the people default on their mortgages and you're spending all your time and money doing evictions. You take that, Glenn. I guarantee you, if you go on Glenn's YouTube channel right now, you are not going to see anything about buying apartment complexes. Not going to happen. Look at any of these REITs. Look at any of these big companies like Blackstone. Blackstone is a $1 billion investment company. They've been buying up in single-family houses everywhere. Now they're trying to sell them as fast as they can. They're trying to get rid of and liquidate all these single-family homes because they're not going to be able to control how many people can afford to pay rent. Even if you got someone coming down from New York or something, what are you going to do? Bang them for first, last security and an extra month on top of that? And even if that you do get that, where are they working? They were in New York last week. Now they're coming down here getting away. You think they're going to get a job paying the same as they had in New York City? So you got big, giant hedge funds that are dumping property. The property I highlighted the other day that I went to go look at was a Blackstone property. And they can't do anything with it. There's no way they're going to be able to sell it in the condition it's in. So they're trying to dump it to an investor, and dumping it to an investor, it's a good deal. I'll put an offer in on it, but I'm not looking to buy and hold. Not that. I'm looking to flip it. Maybe somebody wants to buy it. Maybe a contractor will buy it and move in. He's got a great deal. He's got a house worth about $550,000 that he could pick up for maybe $315,000. And I'll pick up a couple bucks for flipping it over to him. But I'm not going to buy and hold anything like that. Not going to happen. Not single-family homes. Duplexes, triplexes, quads. Maybe if I could find an 8-unit building, oh, great. That would be awesome. Imagine 8 units all renting at $1,200 or $1,400 a month, paid by Ben Carson and the United States government. That's how you make money. And that's where my crystal ball is going. When I look at my crystal ball, I'm saying, Barry, that's where you need to be. That's where you got to be. You got to get your investors in on this as soon as possible. And, you look at something like Kamala Harris. Who knows, maybe she end up being a vice president. But she's got her own plan as where she wants things to see things go. And her thing is, she's going to unveil a sweeping housing thing. And she her idea, which is just insane, and the banks will scream. Look at this. Can you see this? So I need to blow it up even bigger. Okay, I want you to see this. She would ban evictions and foreclosures for a year, while giving tenants up to 18 months to pay back missed payments. Are you friggin' kidding me? You're telling me I have to sit on this non-performing asset and I'm stuck with a tenant that I can't get rid of. I'm stuck with a mortgage I can't foreclose on, and I've got to wait 18 months to be paid back. Does she have a crystal ball? Because how are they going to pay back 18 months of back rent? Is she insane? How are they going to pay back 18 months of back payments? Where in her mind are these people going to come up with? Just say it's $1,000. They're going to pay $18,000 in 18 months. You think that's going to happen? No friggin' way. No, it's not going to happen. She's dreaming. It sounds good to say that in the news. Hey, I'm going to work really hard to help these tenants and people who are in foreclosure, and we're just going to put a ban for a year. For 12 months, there's no foreclosure. So starting today, July 17th, it's 17th, July of 2021, we'll see if Mr. Smith can pay his rent. What do you think Mr. Smith's going to do? If Mr. Smith is working, he's going to live large. If Mr. Smith isn't working, he's not even going to try. And then all of a sudden, about, April or May of next year, guy's going to move out. And you're done for a year. Who wants that? I don't want that. I wouldn't ever put my investors in something like that. I want guaranteed money. I want money paid every single month. And that's coming from the government. It's the only way real estate's going to work. I can't roll the dice on someone and hope it's going to work out. The money to be made is going to be in affordable housing paid for by the U.S. government. Doesn't matter if it's Biden, doesn't matter if it's Trump. That gravy train is not going to end. That gravy train is going to buy me my vacation house. That gravy train is what's going to put us back into the 7 and 8 figure club. Because it's amazing. There's going to be a never-ending supply of money to pay for other people's housing. So while you're working and you're paying your taxes and doing everything you got to do, you're paying for the tenants that myself and my investors are owning. And we're going to do it fair market rent. We're not looking to stiff anybody, but hey, we got 4, 5, 6 people in a quad or an 8-plex, and they're all paying $1,200-$1,400 a month. That's gravy. That's gravy. Again, I've said it and I'll say it again. And if you guys don't understand, if what I just said sounded greedy, you're doggone right. When I looked at the tea leaves and I shook out these tea leaves and I'm seeing what's going on, and I'm like, wait a second. So affordable housing is where everything is. I'm shaking the tea leaves, and the government's going to pay the rent? Well, why would I take a chance of people who are out of work from the Rona? Why am I going to take a chance on people who are moving down from Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York? The Rona. They're getting away. They're terrified. Well, terrified, fearful, be greedy. Now it's time. Now it's absolute time to make sure that this happens. So he's distributing the money. He's out here giving the big checks to people, and here's your mortgage assistance. And if you read that headline, Florida begins distributing CARES Act money to counties for rent mortgage assistance, and it's all going to, dare I say, affordable housing. I love that. So what's going to happen in the suburbs? And so I don't know if you know who Robert Shiller is, but Robert Shiller is an economist. I've interviewed him a couple times on our radio show in the past. And Robert says that urban home prices are going to decline. Now, I know Robert, he's a nice guy, but do you need to get paid a whole lot to say that? Urban prices are going to decline? Dude, people are getting the hell out of the city. Nobody wants to be in the city. The hell with your gentrification. Be gone, unless it's a subsidized housing. And I've said this to a number of people right now as to what he says right here. The benefits of city living, such as restaurants, museums, or theater shows, have been put into question during the coronavirus pandemic. No shit. I said this to a friend yesterday. Why would you live in New York City? You can't go to a baseball game. You can't go to a basketball game. You can't go to a football game. You can't go to a festival. You can't go to the museums. You can't go to a parade. You can't go to restaurants. There's no Broadway. If you take all that stuff out of New York City, what the hell is left? The only reason we ever go to New York City is to go up and have dinner and visit Times Square and go to plays. And, you know, my wife loves the Yankees. You can see you can't see it. I'm a Red Sox fan, but she's a Yankee fan. The hats are behind me. If you can't do any of that, you can't go to Madison Square Garden, can't go to the Met, can't see anything, what the hell would you go to New York for? But more importantly, why would you stay in New York? Because who knows how long this is going to go on for. And there's no reason at this point to stay in New York. At least with LA, you have a beach if they ever let you go to it. But New York, ghost town coming. Absolute ghost town. As he says here, home prices in urban areas may suffer. And now, I like I said, he's smart and he's intelligent, but you definitely don't need a crystal ball to see that. Don't need it. It's insane. I think everyone who has an idea of how real estate works knows that at this point, with the burning down, the rioting, the protesting, nothing worth staying in a city for. Nothing. Why would you stay? You got to get out. We're going to see the biggest exodus and transformation of people we've ever seen. We usually see it from one city to another within the same state. Hey, I don't want to live downtown. I'm going to move to the suburbs. Now we're seeing people moving out of complete states. I'm out. You people are taxing me to the hilt, and I can't do anything. New York pays city taxes, they pay state taxes, then you've got federal taxes, and some people go like, you know, it's not bad because of the lifestyle. I like going out at night. I love walking through Times Square. I can go to restaurants anywhere in the city and have great food with cuisine of my choice. I can go see a Broadway play with my wife. I can then go, you know, if I want to go to Madison Square Gardens and see the Knicks. Not sure why anybody would want to see the Knicks, but maybe they're playing someone you want to see. Go to Yankee Stadium, see some soccer, take a trip over the bridge, go see the New York Giants or the Jets. Gary Vee must be pulling his hair out right now. None of that is happening. None. But there's a lot of other shit happening. People burning stuff down, they're acting a fool, but you're still paying your taxes to view a different kind of show. You're paying your taxes to see people tear your city up. Who the hell wants that? So, one last thing I want to show you, and this is from the oh shit, yeah, Barry's right category. This is from the Real Deal site, and it says here, residential sales plummet across South Florida in Q2. Here are the hardest hit markets. Now, this may make some people quake when they see these kind of numbers. So if you scroll down here and it goes through, this is the kind of number that makes people jump out of a window. 54% annual drop in closed sales. I've been talking about it. I've heard realtors say, no, it's not that bad. And I'm like, you better wait. I drive around here. I see the for sale signs out there. I know that this stuff isn't selling. A 54% annual drop in single-family homes in Coral Gables, Florida, which is a beautiful area. A 61% drop. Yeah, that's jump out the window time. Now that's just the number of sales. Then you get down here and you start talking about the actual, values dropping. This one here is a 48% drop over 1 year, down to 500 closings in an entire. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and it just tells you that this market is screwed. In Fort Lauderdale, the median price, we went down 41% over last year. 41% less closings. Bet you the multifamily didn't. When I say multifamily, duplexes, triplexes, and quads. It's just across the board. Across the board. So when you look at all of this complete imbroglio, we are in a perfect storm. It's appropriate that it's thundering and lightning and raining right now, because we are in a perfect storm. And the only way out, at least for the time being and foreseeable future, is to make sure you own as many or participate in as many duplexes, quads, triplexes, 6 or 8 units that you possibly can that are subsidized, paid for by the U.S. government. That's what we're doing. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking to do, and we're looking for partners to jump in with us. If you're looking for a deal where you can get 8 to 11% annual return on your money, guaranteed, paid for, not just guaranteed, paid for by the U.S. government, please feel free to give me a call. All of this stuff is happening just as I thought. My buddies who are the lawyers who are looking at things, they're telling me they're seeing it coming. It's money time. It's absolute money time. And if you don't take advantage of this, you're going to be kicking yourself later, because I don't know how things are going to be inventory-wise. There's only so many dupes and triplexes and quads around. So and you're going to see the value of those begin to jump up once people begin realizing, so I can put tenants in here the government's going to pay their rent? Yeah. Why the hell would I sell? We need to get in now. We need to get in right now. You need to call me before the weekend's up and let me know that you want to get in some of these deals. 8 to 11% annual. Mortgage rates are in the toilet. Stock market is volatile as hell. How about some guaranteed money? Guaranteed from the U.S. government. Give me a call. I want you guys all to have a great weekend. We're looking at some strange weather here, but we're going to be fine. And I will see you guys on Monday. Digest some of this stuff. Give me a call. It's going to be a fun ride the next couple of months, probably next 6 to 14, 18 months. Have a good weekend.